Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. Today, we will start a new chapter in history, and the name of the chapter is When People Rebel 1857 and After. In the previous chapters, we have studied about the policies of the East India Company and the impact, or we can say the effect of these policies on different people, like what was the effect on kings and queens, peasants, then landlords, tribals, soldiers. They all were affected by the policies of the East India companies, and uh, they all were affected in different ways. So now we see that people started resisting these policies and actions, uh, because these policies and actions were harming the interest of the people, or they were against uh, the sentiments of the people. And in the previous chapters also we have seen that how people started to react, like it was not easy for this the British East India Company to annex Punjab. So much resistance came from that part. Then Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, they also resisted them. Then there was war with Marathas. Then people uh, we have seen किटूर में जो कुछ भी हुआ, चन्नम्मा, रानी चन्नम्मा के बारे में हमने देखा। तो जो अगर देखा जाए तो जो लोगों का रेजिस्टेंस था, डेट वाज स्टार्टेड। बट अभी हम देखेंगे कि वन बाय वन आखिर हाउ व्हाट वाज द सिचुएशन, what was the why there was so much dissatisfaction among different groups of people against the British rule. So first of all we will see the Nawabs, about the Nawabs, that they lose their power. Okay, so what we find that since mid 18th century, mid 18th century, है ना, मिड 18th सेंचुरी यानी कि 1750 से हम क्या देखते हैं कि जो नवाब थे और जो राजा थे, दे their power started to be eroded, their power started to be declined. They gradually lost their power and authority and honor. And as we have seen that residents were appointed in many courts by the British East India Company, and these residents played the role of the agent of the East India Company, and they interfered in the internal matters of the Nawab and Rajas. And not only this, their armed forces were also disbanded. Like subsidiary alliances were done with them, by which they were not allowed to keep their own armed forces. And there were many instances where revenues and territories were taken away in stages. It happened, and it was happening all over the country. We can see that Nawabs were losing their power in all respect, be it political, be it financial, or social. In every aspect of life they were losing their power. And in this connection, in this regard, we see that there were many ruling parties who tried to negotiate with the company so that their interest can be protected, like Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. Rani Lakshmibai wanted that the company should recognize her adopted son as the heir to the kingdom. है ना? When her husband died, when husband of Rani Lakshmibai died, she wanted that her adopted son should become the heir, and it should be recognized by the company, but the company was not ready for this, because as we have seen, this theory of lapse, doctrine of lapse, was presented by Lord Dalhousie, according to which adopted sons were not to be considered as the heir to any king if the king is died. So this was happening. Nana Sahab, who was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, he also pleaded that he should be given his father's pension, when his father died. So this kind of negotiation was done on the part of the Rajas and kings, and the company was not ready to accept all these pleas, neither the plea of Rani Lakshmibai nor the plea of Nana Sahib was accepted by the company. And then one of the most important annexation, or we can say the annexation of one of the territories which caused a huge dissatisfaction, was Awadh. So अवध का जिस तरीके से एनेक्सेशन हुआ, वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा डिससेटिस्फैक्शन उसने कॉज किया. In 1801 a subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh, ठीक है, and then in 1856 it was taken over. The reason the Awadh was taken over, and Governor General Dalhousie, he declared that the territory was being misgoverned. So this is the ground on which this annexation of Awadh was done. सब्सिडरी अलायंस कर दिया गया था. सब्सिडरी अलायंस के कारण भी उसका एक पोर्शन पहले ले लिया गया था, लेकिन 1856 में अल्टीमेटली हम जब पूरा का पूरा अवध जो है वो एनेक्सेशन में आ जाता है ब्रिटिश रूल के, कैसे उसको इस बेसिस पे एनेक्स कर लिया जाता है कि वहाँ पर मिस गवर्नेंस हो रहा है. एंड अगर हम चाहते हैं कि उसको प्रॉपरली एडमिनिस्टर किया जाए तो उसके लिए ब्रिटिश रूल होना वहाँ पे बिल्कुल कंपल्सरी है, तभी वहाँ पर प्रॉपर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हो सकता है. तो ये एक बहुत ही बड़ा डिससेटिस्फैक्शन का कॉज बनता है, बिकॉज आर्बिट्रेरली इस तरह से अवध को वो किया गया, एनेक्स किया गया, है ना. एंड now the company was also planning to bring this Mughal dynasty to an end, because Mughal dynasty was still there, though it was completely powerless, but the dynasty was there, है ना. And sincere efforts were done by this East India Company to bring this Mughal dynasty to an end. What was done by the company, that the name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins which were minted by the company. So at that time जो भी coin mint होता था इंडिया में, उस पर मुगल रूलर का नाम होता था, लेकिन अभी उसको उन्होंने अपनी जो वो मिंटिंग कर रहे थे जहाँ से कॉइन का, वहाँ पर मुगल किंग के नाम को उन्होंने रिमूव कर दिया. 1849 में गवर्नर जनरल डलहौजी ने ये अनाउंस कर दिया कि जो प्रेजेंट मुग़ल रूलर थे बहादुर शाह जफ़र, तो बहादुर शाह जफ़र के डेथ के बाद जो किंग की फैमिली है वो रेड फोर्ट से बाहर शिफ्ट कर दी जाएगी. मतलब रेड फोर्ट में मुग़ल एम्परर रहते थे, है ना. एंड नाउ इन 1849 दिस डलहौजी announces that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, होल फैमिली विल बी शिफ्टेड आउट ऑफ रेड फोर्ट, मतलब रेड फोर्ट को खाली करवा दिया जाएगा मुगल एम्परर से, एंड दूसरा प्लेस उनको दिया जाएगा जहाँ पे कि वो रह सके। और 1856 में क्या होता है कि गवर्नर जनरल जो कैनिंग थे उस समय के, ही डिसाइडेड दैट बहादुर शाह जफर वुड बी द लास्ट मुगल किंग, है ना। ये डिसाइड कर लिया गया कि बहादुर शाह जफर जो है वो लास्ट मुगल किंग होंगे, एंड आफ्टर हिज डेथ नन ऑफ हिज डिसेंडेंट्स वुड बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज द किंग, है ना। बस वो प्रिंस ही कहलाएंगे, वो किंग नहीं कहलाएंगे, बिकॉज ही विल बी द लास्ट किंग। इट वॉज डिक्लेयर्ड बाई लॉर्ड कैनिंग। तो इस तरह से मुगल रूलर को बिल्कुल ही डिक्लाइन कर दिया गया। सो these are the we can say how the Nawabs lost their powers, the Nawabs and of course the Mughal ruler also, है ना। So in all the parts of India, the rulers, the Nawabs, the kings were losing their power. But it's not only about the kings. What we find that other than kings, the peasants and sipais, they were also highly dissatisfied. So what was the reason of their dissatisfaction? है ना, क्यों जो peasants थे और जो सिपाहीज थे उनके अंदर भी dissatisfaction था? What was the reason behind it? Okay, so now we have discussed about the king and the Nawabs, and now we are seeing about the peasants and the sepoys. So we find that in countryside the peasants and zamindars were living, है ना, and these people, they resented the high taxes and the rigid method of revenue collection, because the taxes were very high, and the way the taxes were collected was very rigid, and this was causing a lot of trouble and dissatisfaction among the peasants as well as zamindars. There were many who failed to pay back their loans to the money lenders, and gradually they lost their lands, because now they were not able to pay back their loans. जो मनी लैंडर से उन्होंने लोन लेकर के रेवेन्यू दिया था, तो अब वो मनी लेंडर को अगर वो पैसे वापस नहीं दे पाते हैं तो उसके कारण उनको अपनी लैंड को लूज करना पड़ जाता है ना। They gradually lost the land they had tilled for generations. So this was the reason of dissatisfaction among the peasants. High tax, a high rate of tax, and the rigid method of revenue collection. Okay, and now the next, the Indian sepoys. They were also dissatisfied. They were employed in the company, and they had many reasons for dissatisfaction. First of all, they were not happy with the service condition. They were not happy with their salary, with the allowances, and other conditions of services. There were many new rules in the army, in the company army, and these new rules, we find that they violated their religious beliefs. If they follow the rules, then their religious beliefs were violated. In those days, there were many people in our country who were of the belief that if they crossed the sea, they would lose their religion or caste. So this was the belief. Though it was a superstition, still it was the belief of the people that they should not cross the sea, because if they cross the sea, they will lose their religion and caste. So this was the belief. But what happened in 1824? In 1824, the sepoys were told to go to Burma. and that too by the sea route, because they have to go there to fight for the company. Now the sepoys refuse to follow the order because according to their religious belief, if they will cross the sea, they will lose their religion and caste. So the sepoys refused to accept this order, and they were ready to go by the land route, but they were not ready to go by the sea route. And for this refusal of the order, they were severely punished. And in 1856, the company passed a new law, and according to this new law, every new person who took up employment in the company's army had to agree to serve overseas if required. This was done by the company कि एक नया लॉ बना दिया कि जो भी इस कंपनी को ज्वाइन करेंगे उनको अगर ज़रूरत पड़ेगी तो ओवरसीज़ उनको भेजा जा सकता है और उनको जाना पड़ेगा, तभी वो ज्वाइन करें, अदरवाइज दे आर नॉट सपोज टू ज्वाइन द आर्मी. सो सिपाहीज जो थे they were also dissatisfied, and they were also very much aware of what was happening in the countryside, because the sepoys were not someone who were coming from a different society. Actually, many of the sepoys were peasants, you know, and they had families living in the villages, so they were knowing how high rate of taxes are imposed on the peasants, and how rigorously this tax is collected from the peasants, है ना. तो ये सारी चीज़ें थी अपनी जगह, और इस कारण से जो डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था वो आ रहा था सिपाहीज में भी और पेजेंट्स में भी. ओके, एंड नाउ वी सी दैट देयर वाज अनदर रीजन फॉर dissatisfaction, and this reason for dissatisfaction was reforms which were done by the British. So the response to reforms. What we see that Indian society was at that time, it was having some practices, some beliefs which were we can say very superstitious, which were highly regressive, है ना, पीछे जाने वाला, प्रोग्रेसिव नहीं थे. ऐसे बहुत सारे प्रैक्टिसेस थे, और द ब्रिटिश वर ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट इंडियन सोसाइटी needs to be reformed, है ना. there is need of reforming the Indian society. So laws were passed, like 1828 में सती की जो प्रैक्टिस थी उसको एंड करने की लॉ पास हुई. दैट वाज अ रियली अप्रिशिएबल लॉ कि सती की प्रैक्टिस को एंड कर दिया गया. इसी तरह से रीमैरिज ऑफ widows, that was also one of the most important issue at that time, especially in Bengal, where the rate of widow is was very high. तो इस तरह के जो laws थे, अगर हम देखें तो the law which is to stop the practice of sati, and then the next is to encourage the remarriage of widows. तो ये इस तरह के जो लॉज थे, हालांकि दीज लॉज आर हाईली प्रोग्रेसिव, बट द इम्पैक्ट ऑन द सोसाइटी वाज नॉट गुड. है ना. And the people started to think that these the company wants to change our society, wants to change our culture. There were other problems also as well, like English language education was also promoted by the British. They promoted कि English language education होना चाहिए. And कंपनी ने 1830 के बाद एक और काम किया, वो ये था कि क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज जो थे उनको अपनी टेरिटरी में फंक्शन करने की उन्होंने दे दी आज़ादी. उसके पहले 1830 के पहले तक कंपनी डिड नॉट अलाउ Christian missionaries to function, but now they were allowed to function in its domain, and they can also own land and property. So the purpose of Christian missionaries was to spread Christianity, and when these Christian missionaries were allowed to function freely in the domain of the company, now the missionaries started their work. And now it was the opinion of the people that our culture is being attacked, है ना, हमारे कल्चर पे, हमारी सोसाइटी पे अटैक हो रहा है. Moreover, one more controversy was there, one more problem was there, and that was a new law which was passed in the year 1850. And this law, according to this law, what was done that it was made easier to convert to Christianity. अगर हम क्रिश्चियनिटी में कन्वर्ट होना चाहते हैं तो हमारे लिए आसान हो गया. कैसे? क्योंकि इस लॉ ने एक इंडियन को इस बात की परमिशन दे दी कि अगर कोई भी इंडियन कन्वर्ट हुआ है क्रिश्चियनिटी में तो वो अपनी एंसेस्टर्स की प्रॉपर्टी से उसको बेदखल नहीं किया जा सकता है. ही विल इनहेरिट द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ हिज एंसेस्टर if he had converted to Christianity. Because उस समय क्या होता था कि अगर कोई भी इंडियन क्रिश्चियनिटी में कन्वर्ट करता था तो उसको एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी से हटा दिया जाता था कि you are not going to inherit the ancestral property according to the rules of the Hindu society. But now this rule was made by the British कि अगर कोई कन्वर्ट भी होता है तो भी उसको एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी में जो उसकी हिस्सा है वो बना रहे. सो इस तरह के जो लॉज बन रहे थे, क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज़ को काम करने दिया जा रहा है. देन इस तरह के लॉ बन रहे हैं जिससे कि अब क्रिश्चियनिटी में कन्वर्ट होने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, क्योंकि अगर हम क्रिश्चियनिटी में कन्वर्ट हो भी जा रहे हैं तो हमें एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी मिलेगी. जैसे पहले के समय में अगर नहीं मिलेगी तो ये कॉन्स्ट्रेंट हो जाता कि कोई भी अपने आप को कन्वर्ट करने में डरता कि फिर हमें प्रॉपर्टी नहीं मिलेगी. बट इसको इन्होंने फैसिलिटेट किया. So these were the reasons that many Indians started to feel that the British were destroying their religion, they were destroying their social custom and their traditional way of life. है ना, they are interfering with the social and cultural life of the Indians. And we see that there were some like Rabindranath Tagore, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who wanted to change existing social practices. As I told you, such social practices were highly commendable, highly regretted because जिसमें कि सती प्रथा है. देन नेक्स्ट हम देख रहे हैं जैसे विडोज़ की जो कंडीशन होती थी, तो इन सब के लिए ही तो एफर्ट किया ईश्वरचंद्र विद्यासागर जैसे ग्रेट पीपल, राजा राम मोहन राय. तो वो बातें अपनी जगह है, लेकिन हम यहाँ पर सिर्फ ये हमारा जो कंसर्न है वो ये है कि वाई देयर वॉज डिससेटिस्फैक्शन अमंग द पीपल. ठीक है, तो ये हमने यहाँ तक देख लिया कि कैसे कैसे डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था. अगर देखें तो राजा जो नवाब्स थे, राजा थे, उनके अंदर डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था. जो सिपाहीज थे, पेसेंट्स थे, उनके अंदर डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था. जो कॉमन पीपल थे उनके अंदर डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था, है ना. एंड ऑल दीज डिससेटिस्फैक्शंस एक्चुअली बिकेम रीज़न for this revolution, this rebellion of 1857, जो कि हम लोग यही है हमारा, this is the chapter which we are going to do, है ना, यही है 1857 का रिवोल्ट ही हमें पढ़ना है. So we see that now we will read some of the sources, है ना, so that we can understand what people were thinking those days about the British rule. So first of all we will see the source 1. ठीक है, source 1 में क्या लिखा गया है? Given here are excerpts from the book Majha Pravas, written by Vishnu Bhatt Godse, a Brahmin from a village in Maharashtra. Okay, he and his uncle had set out to attend a yagya being organized in Mathura. Vishnu Bhatt writes that they met some sepoys on the way who told them that they should not proceed on the journey because a massive upheaval was going to break out in 3 days. Okay, so this is the story of Vishnu Bhatt Godse, जो कि अपने फादर अंकल के साथ यज्ञ में अटेंड करने के लिए मथुरा जा रहा था, है ना, और रास्ते में उसे कुछ सिपाही मिलते हैं जो कि उनको कहते हैं कि आगे नहीं जाइए बिकॉज अभी 3 दिन में बहुत कुछ होने वाला है. इट्स अबाउट द रेवेलियन ऑफ 1857, है ना. सो द now we are reading the excerpts. The English were determined to wipe out the religions of the Hindus and the Muslims. This is what the sepoys who met Vishnu Bhatt Godse in the way, he is saying that the English they want to completely destroy our religion, the religion of Hindus and as well as Muslims, and they had made a list of 84 rules and announced these in a gathering of all big kings and princes in Calcutta, है ना. उन्होंने 84 रूल्स ऐसे बनाए हैं और इन सारे रूल्स को उन्होंने कलकत्ता में जो किंग और प्रिंस की गैदरिंग करके उसको बताया, अनाउंस किया, डिक्लेयर किया. They said that the kings refused to accept these rules and warned the English of dire consequences and massive upheaval if these are implemented. So जब उन्होंने पढ़ा ये सब कुछ बताया 84 रूल्स के बारे में, तो किंग जो थे उन्होंने इसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया इन 84 रूल्स को, और ये कहा कि अगर इसको आपने इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया तो इसकी बहुत ही बुरे consequences होंगे जो कि आप देखेंगे, है ना. एंड द किंग्स ऑल रिटर्न टू देयर कैपिटल्स इन ग्रेट एंगर. सभी वापस तो चले गए बहुत गुस्से में, है ना. ऑल द बिग पीपल बिगैन मेकिंग प्लान्स. अब सारे जो किंग्स थे वो प्लान्स बना रहे हैं कि कैसे इस ब्रिटिश रूल को, इस कंपनी को ख़त्म किया जाए. अ डेट वॉज फिक्स्ड फॉर द वॉर ऑफ रिलीजन एंड द सीक्रेट प्लान हैड बीन सर्कुलेटेड फ्रॉम द कैंटोनमेंट इन मेरठ बाय लेटर सेंड टू डिफरेंट कैंटोनमेंट. सो प्लान बन गया था, है ना. एंड वन डेट वॉज ऑल्सो फिक्स्ड कि ये अब हम लोग ये वॉर ऑफ रिलीजन कर देंगे, क्योंकि एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो 2 डिफरेंट रिलीजन जो थे वो आमने सामने, हिंदू और क्रिश्चियंस या फिर मुस्लिम्स और क्रिश्चियंस, है ना. तो ये इसको वॉर ऑफ रिलीजन कहा गया और सीक्रेट प्लान बना के उसको सर्कुलेट हुआ. वो कहाँ से? मेरठ कैंटोनमेंट से डिफरेंट कैंटोनमेंट्स में वो लेटर भेजा गया. तो इस तरह से जो लोगों में जो डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था वो हमें दिखाई देता है. इसी तरह से दूसरी भी जो सोर्स है दैट ऑल्सो टेल अस अबाउट the thinking of the people, the dissatisfaction of the people. So we will see in the whole chapter, we are going to see how this mutiny which started from this Barakpur, Meerut, है ना. Soon it became a very great popular rebellion. How it all happened, we will discuss all these things. What were the consequences, है ना, इनके क्या impacts हुए और किस तरह से जो कंपनी है उसने फाइट बैक करके वापस अपने पावर को रिगेन किया, और मेन क्या क्या चेंजेस उसके बाद आए, ये सारा कुछ हम लोग इसमें डिस्कस करेंगे. We will continue with this in the next class.